So we finally get a little bit of action today on the market, and the break and retest strategy comes out in flying colors today. Plenty of break and retest opportunities today. We saw that market action, and in my last video, we talked about how the strategy that I trade doesn't quite perform as well in a sideways trending market, and that was the last thing that today was. Today, the market, a strong trend in a single direction, whether it's up or whether it's down. The break and retest needs a direction, and we saw that direction today, and the opportunities were plentiful. In today's video, I want to go over my $10,000 day, a huge day for me, cutting away almost all of the losses from last week in one single day, proving that risk management, proving the risk reward that the strategy and the break and retest does provide. Today, I traded NVDA and SMCI, two beautiful setups that I want to go over in today's video. And then at the end of today's video, I want you to see this SMCI chart. It's a daily chart. It's very interesting, something that I'm going to continue to hold for more upside continuation. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Press that like button, subscribe to the channel. Let's jump right into it. So let's go ahead and start here on the NASDAQ. We can see the NASDAQ today tapped the all-time highs, 18,709. That was where we ended the day, right at this 18,709 level. That is the all-time high on the NASDAQ futures. And on the ES, we tapped that all-time high at $5,333. That is our all-time high on both the ES and NQ, and that is where we ended the day. So how did we get there? Well, we had a good CPI print within expectations. We saw that continuation, and this continuation provided the opportunities that I need and that volume and that direction that I need for my strategy to shine at its best. And so let's start to go over what I saw today on NVIDIA and why I was so confident to look for that upside continuation. Before we dive too deep into this NVIDIA chart, I just want to share with you guys my day. I want to show you the performance of the day and the holding and the positions that I am still holding. So right now, up about 200% on SMCI. You guys can see this first position. SMCI 870 calls. I got in around 32. They're currently trading around 94. Currently unrealized about $6,100 there. NVIDIA, I am still holding one contract, some 920 calls. In around 15, they're currently around 32, about 90% gain there. Locked up some of those profits overall on the day, about a $10,000 day. You can see right here about $10,000 in profits, realized 2,000 of it, so still have some unrealized gains here. And I want to show you why I'm so confident to hold $8,000 of unrealized gains overnight. So here's NVIDIA, and we have been watching something very clear here on NVIDIA. We've made multiple comments about this chart here on NVIDIA in the live stream, and it is right here. It is the break and retest that has occurred over the last week on NVIDIA, and there's a few things intraday as well today that set up this move. So you guys can see in the past, this is back on April 29th and April 30th, we had a very clear double top on NVIDIA, right? Very clear. Double top on NVIDIA, caused downside on NVIDIA. Now, we got back above it. What did we see at that same level, that 885 level, for the last week, week and a half? We saw NVIDIA refuse to drop below it. And you can see right there that on the longer term time frames is a fantastic break and retest sort of formation, right? We had a previous high that has turned into a low, creating that structure, building that low, and potentially creating the upside move, right? Because before today, we didn't know for sure whether we were going to get that upside move. We needed some kind of catalyst, and that was CPI. Now, what is the high that we're watching here, right, that NVIDIA needs to get over to really confirm that upside, right? Because we could take our long on this demand down here. Very good risk reward there, right? If we were to long our NVIDIA, if we were to a long down at 885, that's a great risk reward, right? Because we know we're trading on a hold above a previous high. Great risk reward down longing at 885. Where's the more confirming move, right? What do we need to see to maybe confirm that we're actually going to get higher, actually break out? And it's a break over the recent highs, which is right here at that 922, right? And so let me go ahead and show you what happened today on NVIDIA at 922, and let me show you where we got our entry, right? So let me go ahead and turn this after hours on. We can see right here, put the after hours on, and let's go ahead and zoom in to NVIDIA this morning, right? And so you can see 5-minute chart take a look at the 922 level. That was the level that we just talked about. We talked about that major previous high that we needed to see a break and hold above. If we can see a break and hold above this level, we could use this as a level to go long, using that level as our stop loss, understanding that NVIDIA is getting above a major previous high. All right, let's go back here. All right, we can see right here. We're getting above a major previous high, and we want to see that turn into a support, right? A rejection point into a support. That is the break and retest at its core. So let's go down into the 5-minute chart once again, and we can see right here, guys, all we had to do today, there was one thing we had to do. We had to long that 922 level, and we had to trust it. And that is pretty much my entire day on NVIDIA. I knew coming into the day, we wanted a break and retest of 922. We wanted to see that 922 turn into a support. That's our major previous high. Can we see demand at that level? And if we can, that should be all we need to trust the long at that level and take profits, right, along the move, but also try to trust the upside move, depending on, of course, what the market looks like. So here's the 2-minute chart on NVIDIA, and we can zoom into this move right here at 922. We can see very strong wick back above, wicking back above, and right here, look at that candle right there. Beautiful wick right back above that 922 3 times today. Wicks back above that 922 demand, providing us that risk reward that we need to get that upside continuation. Now, it wasn't just 922, right? There was another level that we could use or we could watch here to get even more confirmation of further upside. And let me go ahead and show that to you now. The next level that we were watching was $936 per share. Why $936 per share? Let's go ahead and look at this 4-hour chart. Looking at 4-hour chart levels, right, knowing that they are major levels on a longer-term time frame, and then watching how they react on the short-term time frame. So we had that 922, right? We knew. Let's go back and review that really quick. We had 922 as our first level. That was this high right here. We talked about that. That was this high right here. That was this high right here. So we knew 922 was a major 4-hour level, and we saw it hold in the short term. Great opportunity. What's our next level on the 4-hour? Well, we have a very clear high right here, right? And if we zoom in a little bit, we can see that was a very clear high at 936. That was a very clear double bottom low at 936. And this was a very clear rejection at 936. So that is our next level, $936. Let's go ahead and jump into the 2-minute chart today, and let's look at what happened at 936, right? Let's take a look at what did the short-term time frame show me at my 4-hour key level. Look at this. Right at 936 today, we could see this cause reactions, right, in the morning, right, a little bit early, around 10:30. We saw some rejections at 936. But after breaking above it, look what it did. It turned it into a support, which led to the next leg higher. So our 936 level, rejection into support, rejection before, turning into support right at our 4-hour level, right? This is our 4-hour level, but it is showing an important inflection point on the short-term analysis, short-term time frame, that we can create our long entries off of. When I saw that, I continued to hold my position, and I figured, right, that I could continue to get that upside continuation on NVIDIA after seeing both the 922 level, which we knew was there, and the 936 level holding intraday. I figured I can continue to ride out NVIDIA for further upside. So we had 4-hour levels mapped out on NVIDIA, and we saw break and holds above those levels on the short-term analysis, giving me that confidence to maintain a position, right? Knowing I can use those levels to potentially guide my trades. So this is how I guided my trades today. I said, okay, we're above 922. I'm long as we're above that level. It's my 4-hour level. I'm seeing holds at that level. Let me stay long. Let's see what happens at my next level, 936. I saw 936 coming in. I saw us break and hold above it. Okay, now I can say to myself, as long as we're over 936, I'm holding my position. So instead of just holding and blindly guessing when I should exit, I'm actually using levels on the chart to make my decisions, right? It's not some kind of arbitrary idea. It's not, oh, I'm going to get out if I'm up this percent, or I'm going to get out if it's a dollar amount of this amount. No, right? It's what levels are on the charts. Are they holding? Using that to guide my decisions. That was very key today to milk out these profits on NVIDIA. What's the next level we're watching now? It is $960 per share. That is my next target to the upside. And then we will decide what happens once we touch that next level. Overall, what a beautiful chart on NVIDIA this was. Previous double top highs. Look at that beautiful consolidation over the last few weeks. That is some pretty stuff. And if you guys follow me on Twitter, you saw me talk about this. I'll go ahead and pop it up on the screen. That was an awesome opportunity, and congratulations to any of you guys that went ahead and caught this move. Now, the next move that I think is just getting started here, guys, is SMCI, a monster stock, but a very interesting move here. I'm going to zoom out to this daily chart. I'm going to go to this chart right here, and I want to just let you take a second and look at this chart. Let's do a little 2-second pause. Look at this chart. That is a beautiful chart, and I am very excited to see where this can go. We can see this is the daily chart, and over the last 2 to 3 months, we have been seeing SMCI sort of consolidate lower in this downtrend, right? Really just sort of slowing down and moving to the downside over the last 2 months. Where has it come down to? It has come down to this major demand low around that $700 per share, which was this major low on the daily chart, and multiple major lows here on the daily chart. We can see that $700 per share is very important. Number 2, what daily SMA is holding SMCI higher? If you look at this green line that's been sort of trending higher, look at how that 100 SMA, that's the 100 daily SMA, look at how that 100 daily SMA has held SMC higher every single time it has come back down to it. Every test of that 100 SMA has been met with buying action every single time. Now, the 2 previous times we had SMCI off that 100 SMA, what did it do? It rejected the downtrend, and it rejected the downtrend, right? So you got a little bit of action to the upside, but you saw a rejection at the downtrend. You got a little bit of upside off that 100 SMA, but you rejected at the downtrending channel. What has happened this time, right? You have gotten the break of this really tight wedge, right? You have this wedging move. You have a breakout on the daily chart over this downtrend, coming off of the $700 demand and coming off of the 100 SMA. That is 3 major confluences here, and I think a very interesting start to this potential breakout and continuation on SMCI. Now, there were some short-term levels today that I needed to sort of focus on to get my entry point to understand if SMCI could continue. So let me go ahead and now break that down a little bit deeper. So guys, here's the 1-hour chart on SMCI, and we can sort of dissect this a little bit more detailed, and I'll share with you why SMCI really started to get going here. First of all, let's take a quick peek, right? You can see that green line right there. Those are our 100 SMA tests, right? You can see 100 SMA, 100 SMA, 100 SMA, 3 tests that resulted in reactions back to the upside. Now, this time around, there's an important reason why SMCI really continued higher. And in my opinion, it is because of the break over $860 per share. We can see here on the hourly chart, we had some major previous lows at this $860 per share. 860, 860. Major previous lows right here. Previously, we saw us fail at 860. We saw us reject this 860. We could not get above that 860. That was a major level that we needed to first get above. Now, we can dive down a little bit deeper today, and I'll share with you what happened early morning at that 860 level. So right here, you can see if we zoom into today's morning, this is this morning's action, and we can see right here, we opened the market, we popped into 860, we rejected, right? So we were potentially looking at another rejection of 860, and it's just sort of a fading move back to the downside. SMCI, once again, rejecting that 860. Now, the market stayed very strong, and the market definitely supported this along with other semiconductor stocks. We had that return back higher in SMCI, and right here, we can see that SMCI broke and held over 860 above the intraday high, above that major hourly chart level, And right there is where I really got confident that SMCI could continue higher. Now let's pop back into that hourly chart and let's take a look at the next level that we needed to get above. If we go to the hourly chart, we can see the next level that I was sort of concerned about SMCI was right here. It was this 900 and this 900 high, right? We saw 900 reject previously. We saw these 900 support, right? So we needed that move above 900. Now let's go down and dive into the short-term time frames. We can see 900 caused a little bit of reaction short-term today, eventually breaking and holding above, creating that upside move, giving me more confidence that we can continue to hold. So we got above that 860, got me in the longs. We got above that 900, kept me in the longs, and now we are at my next level, which is $950 per share. Now let me show you why $950 is very important. And this is going to be the next level that you're going to have to watch if you are interested in trading this setup. So right here, we can see this is $950 per share is right here. And this is a big one. There's no doubt about it. Right now, we can see 950, right? 950, 950, 950. Big wick rejection there. So this is going to be our next level on SMCI that we need to get above for further upside. If we can get above that level, in my opinion, your next move on SMCI is right here into the $1,000 mark. Now, besides the technicals and besides that daily chart and besides some of the breaks that you have seen here on SMCI, let me go ahead and quickly come back to this. Here's one thing I want to say about this trade and about why I'm interested in holding it. It's not so much about the chart, so let's take the chart off the screens. What this is about is the strength in semiconductors that you saw today. You saw strength in AMD. You've seen very strong moves in MU and Qualcomm as well as TSM. SMCI has been lagging some of that action. NVIDIA, of course, another major mover. So a lot of strength in the semiconductors today. What else reports earnings next week? NVIDIA. NVIDIA reports earnings next week. I got into SMCI down at around the 855 level today, up about $100 per share, up about $100 in the money on my options contracts, right? Not quite. I have the 870, so about $60 in the money, $70 in the money on my option contracts. So what am I thinking here, right? SMCI, big breakout today, NVIDIA earnings next week. Are we going to continue to see a run-up on semiconductors into the NVIDIA earnings? A very interesting concept that I would be paying attention to, not only on NVIDIA, not only on SMCI, but some other stocks, and particularly one that's been lagging as well, AMD, right? Something to be watching. AMD's been lagging very heavily. Could it be waking up into this NVIDIA earnings report? Something that I'm going to continue to hold here, guys. I will keep you updated. I wanted to update you here in today's video. Sexy chart there on SMCI. Something I would be watching. I hope you sort of understand how I used my levels today, trusted my levels today, used the break and retest to hold my positions and find my entries. If you enjoyed today's video, guys, press that like button, subscribe to the channel, and I hope to see you in the next one. Peace.